lovely pink piece of paper. When we ask you to do some work, pretend it's blue. As we do some work, if I ask you to do some questions, you guys will have this paper to work with. I'll give you some other things to work with too. We're starting a new chapter, so we did a test yesterday, so this is a new idea. It's not brand new to you. You've done it in 4th grade, you did it a little bit in 3rd grade, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build for you guys a good concept of it, a good visualization of it. So I might teach you something you feel like you can already do in certain ways, but I'm going to ask you to do it other ways, and I'm going to ask you to build more of a visual of what we're doing here. When you get to middle school and high school, we'll often ask you, why can you do this? And it's very surprising sometimes to find that none of our students can say why. They all know how. You guys are very well skilled in how, and you can go to bushy bug schools, you can do a lot of things about how, but the why is a little tricky. If you weren't here earlier, I was asking why a tripod, 3-legged, is more stable than 4. That idea of answering why and attaching it to math, that's very, very important. All right, you ready to start? Get ready. All right, my first question for you is this. Doesn't seem very mathy, does it? My question is, what's a family, Kristen?
Family is in general your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your grandpas, your uncles, your aunts, your grandmas, your great-grandmas, your great-grandpas.
Cousins?
Yeah, cousins.
Yeah. So what makes them family? Hannah, why would you say all those people she mentioned with family?
In a way related with blood and family names.
Okay, so in a sense, a family is people that are related. Do you have to be related by blood?
No, I guess not.
No. My son Ryan is adopted, so we're not blood related, but he is most definitely my family.
I guess maybe in a way you kind of you look out for each other, like if somebody
So there's a relationship
runs out
between
of
you.
immediate family, like
They can have adopted family. Yeah.
but you're talking about a family of numbers.
Oh, Lizzie, you're so smart. I'm asking you what's a family, and we're saying it's people like mom, dads, grandma, grandpas, cousins, aunts, uncles, things that are related, right? So I want you to take that same idea for family, and I want you to answer for me then what's a math family, which Lizzie said is related with numbers. How can you tell me, oh, what did you say, Jordan? A fact family. That's how we usually use the word family in math, right? So do you guys know you can remember your fact families?
Yeah.
I know you've done them because Emily is in 4th grade and she's been doing fact families. So if she's done them in 4th grade, then you guys are probably doing them in 5th. So what is a math family? Yeah.
The math family is a fact family. It could be like 4 plus 5 is 9, and 5 plus 4 is 9, or 9 minus 5 is 4, or 9 minus 5 is
Yeah. So they have a relationship, right?
Multiplication times 3 is 9.
Yep. 3 times 3 is 9. 4
divided by 9. No. 9 divided by 3
is 3. Good. So we have different relationships. So they're related. They have something in common with each other. So on your sheet of paper, I'd like you guys to write down some fact families with 2, 6, and 8. How are they related? Has to be 2, 6, 8. So should it be multiplication, division, or should it be addition and subtraction?
Addition can't be any other numbers like that.
I want you to do these 3 numbers. So you think it's addition and subtraction? All right, so write it down. You should be able to write me down 4. 4 relationships. Everybody should be able to. And we're thinking addition, subtraction. You got them? So you would be able to write them. It looks like I'm seeing 2 that have pluses in them and 2 that have minuses. Sometimes the addition ones are a little bit easier at first to start with. What are you guys doing when you're changing the order of like the 2 and the 6? When you do 2 plus 6 and 6 plus 2, what are you doing? Do you know the name of that property?
Switching them.
Is there a name for it? Do you remember it?
Is that the associate?
No. Associate means you group them differently, so that's parentheses with different groups.
No. What's the property that a couple is called?
That's the one. Anybody remember the name? When you're an adult, you do this a lot. You commute to work back and forth.
Yeah,
You're commuting the numbers, you're changing the order, so it's commutative property. Good. Okay, so this is a fact family with adding and subtracting. We can also as a couple people pointed out, have fact families with multiplying and dividing. So can you guys write down for me the fact family for this one?
Wait, can we do multiplication?
What do you think? Do you have to multiply here? Can you still add? 4 plus 5 is 20? No. 4 times 5 is 20, yes. Okay, your first one you should write down. Maybe not your first. 4 times 5 is 20. And then you can change it around. 5 times 4 is 20. Good. And then you guys can switch to division. And today we are focusing on the division. So we're writing this down. And the first one I'm seeing a lot of people write down is they're writing down 4 times 5 equals 20. Using the commutative property, you can flip that around and say 5 times 4 equals 20.
Oh, we did this last year.
Yep. And then how's the division ones work? Kristen, give me a division one.
20 divided by 5 equals 4, and 20 divided by 4 equals 1.
Okay, so 20 divided by 5 equals 4, and 20 divided by 4 equals 5. So this is a review. You guys have done fact families before. What does it mean to divide? Think about it for a minute. Megan.
To like break down numbers.
Okay, so Megan says that dividing, you guys can write this on your paper. She says, whoa, my pen went crazy. She says that to divide, say it again for me, break numbers into groups.
Equal.
Ooh. Are we missing a word here? Let's say that I really liked you guys, so I brought in, say, 20 chocolate chip cookies. But let's say I said, okay, I'm going to divide these among you guys. So I'll give you 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then I will give Jordan 6.
What?
I like Jordan more. Am I dividing my cookies up among you all?
No.
I mean, I am dividing them among you. Is it the kind of math dividing we normally talk about?
Usually it's where we take it and we like make 6 circles and then break it down.
Okay, so I'm going to use pictures for it, and that's what we're going to do today. So if we do math dividing, it's usually a little more fair, right? So what was the word you said we should add into this? Equal. Break numbers into, so right here, we should add another word, equal groups. So when we're doing it in math, the whole idea is equal. What we're doing today is some smaller division problems, more because I want you to visualize what it looks like. And then when you get to the harder problems, Mr. Love's going to teach you other methods, the division algorithm, all that kind of stuff. But if you get caught up in a really difficult problem, I want you to be able to come back and know why we do it and how it works. All right, ready?
Yes.
All right. I have a feeling that people, at least a few people in here, like mustaches.
No,
just Sophia.
So in honor of Sophia, I chose mustaches as my object of the day. I have to tell you guys, I can't draw. I have 0 drawing ability, so I don't expect you to draw beautiful mustaches on your paper unless you have been blessed with artistic ability. When I have to draw things on paper, I end up drawing like stars or circles, something that I can do fairly well with my very limited ability. Smiley faces, do you want to take that long? Eyes, nose, mouth, over and over. But how many mustaches? I must ask you a question. How many mustaches are there? Yeah. 20? All right. I want you guys to draw 20 objects on your paper. Don't have to do mustaches because I'm not going to wait that long. You can do dots. I like stars. You can do circles. Do things that can go fairly fast. So you're going to draw 20 objects on your paper. Go. It can be beautiful, but it has to be fast. You can't be artistic, too artistic here. There we go. Nice fast little circles. Wow, don't draw it too big, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your paper. All 20 of Jordan's dots can fit like under your pinky, tip of your pinky finger.
Okay.
They're not happy though. 20 objects. All right. Now, looks like we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right. Go quick. You can just make dots if you want. Little circles, little squares. You're getting 20. Okay, my question is, what are some different ways we could divide these 20 objects into what you guys said had to be equal groups? I could do 20 divided by 2. Okay, that's our first one. How would I show it visually on here? Breaking it up into, you're saying 2 groups, Lizzie? You want me to divide it into 2 groups?
So, like, all kinds of groups, but each one have 2.
Oh, okay, so you want each group to have 2 objects. So then how many groups would that be? 10? Why?
Because 20 is divided by
Okay, what's a related multiplication fact family for that?
2 times 10.
2 times 10 is 20. If your multiplication facts are a little weak, this gets frustrating to find it. All right, so groups of 2. So go ahead with your pencil on here. If you break them into groups of 2, everybody sees 10 circles. So how would I write the related math problem of what we just did? How would I write it down? I had 20 to start, so I'm just going to write this along the top. You guys can take a look. I had 20 things to start. What did Lizzie ask me to break it into?
2.
Groups of 2. So I divided 20 by 2, and what did I get as a result? 10. So you're saying 20 divided by 2 can be 10. Great. Now give me another one. What's a different way you could group these? Yeah. Groups of 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want groups of 5. So now take a look. I'm going to switch my colors. My iPad lets me switch my pen. Very easy. You all have boring pencils.
Oh, we can switch.
We have pens.
All right, you want to grab a colored pen so you do something on the other color on here? As long as it doesn't mean you have to get a highlighter or a pen. Now we want groups of 5.
I'll draw heavier.
How should I do groups of 5? Any great wisdom here on how to do it?
First of all, you divide everything. So you take 4 and then circle it, and then you take 4 and then circle it.
Wait, but I thought Megan said she wanted me to divide by 5.
Yeah, divide. Oh, then you have to take.
This is tricky. I want you guys to think about it. If I'm dividing by 5, do I make groups of 4? Or if I'm dividing by 5, do I make groups of 5?
4.
What do you think, Hannah?
If you're dividing by 5, you need to put 5 going across.
Oh, going across would make it easier? Do I have to go across? No, might make it very. So am I dividing into groups of 5? So if I divide it by 5, Hannah's is going this way, might make it easier. I'm doing this in blue now. There's 1 group of 5. There's 2 groups of 5. There's 3 groups of 5. And 4 groups of 5.
Did you write that?
So what would that be? That would be 20 divided by
4.
5 is 4. So if I'm breaking up groups of 5, I got my 20 cookies. And I want to put my 20 cookies in groups of 5. How many of you are going to get cookies? 4. My 4 favorites. Anybody in here left-handed? All right, automatic favorite. If you're left-handed, you're definitely number 1 for me, since I'm left-handed. And Mr. Griffin is left-handed. And none of my children are left-handed. It's very depressing. Lefties have to stick together. Anybody want to switch to their left hand so you can have cookies?
My writing. I know how to spell. I'm left-handed. Oh.
Mine is too, but I am left-handed. All right. Is there another way? So we've done 2 different ways so far. I'm going to write it again up here. We did 20 divided by 2 made 10 groups. Then we did 20 divided by 5 made 4 groups. Is there any other ways to do 20?
20.
Jordan?
20 divided by 4.
20 divided by 4. So what am I doing then if I'm divided by 4? I'm breaking it into what? Groups of 4. So, and what will the answer be? This is a related fact family question, right, Annette? 5. And that way, I don't have to draw it any certain way, but as I draw this, maybe I want to do it like this. There's a group of 4. There's a group of 4. There's a group of 4. Can I do it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then the last one's not going to have the same shape, but it still has 4.
What if you did it by columns?
I could. Columns would be easy too, right? Sometimes the way you draw your picture to start makes one way easier than the other.
Yeah.
Like Elka and Lizzie drew 2 lines of 10, so the 10 by 2 was a lot easier for them. If you did the 5 by 4, this is easier. Are there any other ways I can break this up? I can do 20 divided by 10 is 2, right?
Can we write the 20 divided by 4 thing too?
You guys don't have to write it, but I want you to tell me, is there anything else? So I have these 4 options that I know of.
Do we have to do that?
Nope, you don't have to write that down. But I want to know, are there any other options? Yeah, other than the 4 that I read.
You could divide 20 divided by 20.
Ooh, what's that?
Or 20 divided by 1.
What is 20 divided by 20?
1.
1. So what am I going to do to my picture if I do 20 divided by 20?
Circle.
Circle what?
Entire thing.
Everything. So what are you saying? 20 divided by 20 is 1. So you're telling me if I break my cookies into groups of 20, or my mustaches, how many groups will I have?
1.
1 enormous group, which definitely would go to Evelyn since she's left-handed.
So she'll be
She'll
Happy.
be a little
She'll be happy. I think 20 cookies once
But I
makes
was
you do
sure
it. I think she'd be all right. All right, what was the other way? I heard one other person give me one other way. Kristen?
Isn't the other way you can do 20 divided by 10?
Well, I got that one here. 20 divided by 10, and then I also did 20 divided by 20 is 1.
Can't you do 20 divided by 1?
Yeah, so what is 20 divided by 1?
20.
So what would you have to circle on your picture?
Entire thing.
Every single one separately, wouldn't I? If I'm doing 20 divided by 20, or 20 divided by 1, groups of 1, I'd have to go through and basically just circle every mustache. Okay, I have one other question which should connect to something else you guys learned in here. What do all these numbers have in common? 1s, 2s, 4s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. Megan.
Maybe they're
They're parts of fact family, sure. What else are they? Really?
they're in their table, in their times tables, they each have 20.
Okay, so you see all of them in your times table in the 20 column. So what does that make them? Do you guys know the word? You make Mr. Love sad if you don't know this word, I think.
division.
You're doing it with division. They're also multiplication. What do we call things that you can multiply together to get the answer? Anybody know that word? Factors. So these are all factors of 20. So if you're asked, can you divide or can't you, what do you guys see? Are there any factors of 20 I don't have up there? Am I missing any factors of 20? You divide 20 by 3?
No.
Not evenly? Not evenly, you could. You're going to get something remainder. We'll do that in a minute. You can't divide by 6 evenly. Okay, so we have all the factors of 20 up here. So those are all the different ways you can break this up. All right. How many do I have here?
Whoa.
How many are here?
36.
36. How do you know there's 36? Did you count every single one?
No, I counted the rows that had 6, and then I counted one row that had 6, so then I just tied.
Good. So you counted that this was 6, and you counted that this was 6, and then you multiplied it. This is important today when I give you guys something and I say you could use an area model to teach it. This is like an area model. It's a 6 something by 6 something. It could be 6 feet by 6 feet. It happens to be 6 mustaches by 6 mustaches. All right. So do dots. Make it fast. Everybody do a 6 by 6 just with dots. So it doesn't take you long.
My 20 is.
Guess what? You have more space in the back. Dots. Quick dots. Fairly structured. Makes it a little easier to do something with them later.
You had to restart. Then I did it.
I like how Sophia just has this need to make them all slightly different. There's a little flair to your dots. Some of you have a need to make them incredibly ordered and meticulous. Now, Megan said before that everything we used for 20 fact families were factors of 20. Do you think that same thing will happen here?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys know the factors of 36? Kristen, give me one.
12.
All right, so if Kristen was going to break 36 into groups of 12, how many would she circle? How many groups would you have? So Kristen says 12 goes into 36. So if I'm going to break it into groups of 12, how many groups should we have?
No, 3.
3 groups? Let's try it.
Groups of 6.
Groups of 12. So everybody do groups of 12. Do you get 3? Now, if you know there's 6 per row, then every 2 rows would make it. If you made yours in a nice row, there's a group of 12. There's a group of 12.
Oh man.
And there's a group of 12. Good. What's another factor of 36? Somebody who hasn't talked yet. I gotta find out everybody's names. I don't know everyone's names. What's your name? Warren. What's another thing that you can divide 36 by? 6. Okay, how many groups would Warren have if he does 36 divided by 6? Anyone? 36 divided by 6? 6? Now, I want you guys to notice something here when I wrote these. What do you notice? I divided by 12 and I got 3. I divided by 6 and I got 6. What happened here? Do you see a pattern?
Oh, I see a pattern.
What do you see, Kristen?
I see that when, like, it's like half everything. So, like, that thing was like half as much as we're getting half. Because 12 is more than 6.
6 is half
so
of
it's
12?
like half.
Okay, so I took what I was dividing. I wanted groups of 12 and then I cut it into groups of 6. I did half of that. What happened then? I went from 3 to 6. Those didn't go by half. What did they do? How do you go from 3 to 6? What do you do to 3? Times 2, you doubled it. So if you cut 1 in half, you multiply the others by 2?
Mine looks like
Very nice. So if I do groups of 6, I will double it because I'm making each group half as big, so that would make twice as many groups. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to do the rest of them all right now, but how many do you have? What other ways could you do it? I'm not going to draw anymore. What's another way to make 36? Yeah.
Like
By 3s? What is another way? Now, don't get all crazy with these. You got to put them all back in your container after. There are little circles in here.
Oh yeah.
I want everybody to pull out of their bag 27 circles and put them in a nice arrangement on your desk. 27 circles. Can you think of a good way to arrange them so that they make a nice looking rectangle?
That's the one like the passport.
Yes. You get the phone ones now. 27 of them.
This one got 27.
27. How would you arrange 27? Elko, how would you do 27? How would you arrange 27 on your desk? Or what kind of rows do you take through? Yep, how many do you have to put in a row? Think about a fact family with 27 and multiplying. 9, good. And then how many rows would you have with 9? Good. So if you know your fact families, you could do 9 by 3. Less than. Now, let's say you didn't do 9. Are you going to have a nice, perfect rectangle? No. If you're doing an area model, what they call area models, you need to make it so that it's rectangular because we can do the area of rectangles. You don't have to right now, though. Okay, what I want you to do, lay them on your desk, is I want you to do 27 divided by 4. I want you to do 27 divided by 4. So I want you guys to break this into groups of 4 for me. Just kind of spread them out on your desk into groupings of 4. Okay, so everybody's going to start to make groups of 4. Do you have 27 here? Did you count them? Did you count 27? Okay, so let's count them, make sure. Everybody break them into groups of 4. There's divide it into groups of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 26, 27. So let's put these back in your bag.
Now it's 26.
There's 3 here. I think we're good.
Remainder
27. Okay,
3.
so put this one, so put these back in your bag. Or just set them upside. So put groups of 4.
But he's supposed to now they're
Yeah, so you have So what do you get? How many groups of 4 can you make? You made 6 groups of 4?
5.
And then you had 3 left over. Nice, Lizzie. I like how you stacked yours.
So 6 remainder 3.
I don't know. Count it as a whole. Okay, so I want to see groups of 4, and I want to see your remainder of 3. So everybody show me 6 groups of 4, and then off to the side you should have a remainder of 3. What does that mean?
You're recording.
What's a remainder of 3 really mean?
There's 3 left over.
There's 3 left over, like if I'm breaking up cookies, there's 3 cookies left over. What do you do with the remainder?
You
Eat them.
Eat it yourself.
Eat them.
Now you do 6.
Okay, so how would I write this down? I'm doing 27 divided by 4. You guys made your groups, and you ended up with 6 groups. So you had 6 full groups, and then you had remainder of 3. How do I write that?
It's and then put in small r and then
Okay, small r, big R, does it matter? I think different books do it different ways. But we're basically saying it's 6 with a remainder of 3. Question, is it always good to give your answer like that, or is there another way you could give your answer? Evelyn?
you could like
I know.
like write the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
You just only write r.
Okay, so I could do 6R3.
Yes.
Okay, is there another way? Anna?
You could do it a capital R.
You're right. How about another way? Is that a hand raised or not?
No.
It's just an elbow raised. Megan?
Oh
A
yeah.
decimal? What decimal though? How is 3 done? So 6.3?
6.
No.
No,
So
right.
what am I dividing?
We put a
Oh.
zero.
Not a hamburger. Okay, figuring out another way to write this.
What? I think I know.
6 point something, but what am I dividing?
Oh, 6 point.
So you had 6
Oh,
groups of 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa.
I'm really good at drawing. See, 5, 6. And then, so those were covered, right? Done. All 6 of these are covered. 6 groups, that's the whole number. How many were left?
3.
3. How much of a group is left?
Oh, 6 point.
1. 6 point. 1.
How much of a group
6
is
point.
this? What's a full group?
Oh, 6 point.
4.
A full group's 4. How many do you have? 3. What is 3 out of 4? Is it a third? And that's 1 out of 3.
6 point.
Quarter. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
1 out of 4 is a quarter. All right, so 1 out of 4 left. Let me write it in pen. 1 out of 4 is a quarter, right? What's a quarter as money? 0.25, 25 cents is a quarter. I don't have 1 quarter though. I have 3.
Oops.
What? So this right here is 3 out of 4 stars in a group. What's 3 out of 4? 6.75.
No, 7.
0.75. So I could say that this is 6 3/4 groups. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Or remainder 3?
Yes.
I'm kind of stretching you beyond what you have to do today, but I just wanted to see how you do with fractions, since I know you did fractions the last couple of years. It's coming again. When is it good to say 3/4 and when is it not? If I'm breaking up cookies and I'm giving groups of 4 cookies, how many groups of cookies can I make? 6 3/4 cookies. So I chop a cookie up. Okay, here's a question. What if there were 27 people in a class, and I asked you to split the 27 people up into cars? Every car would hold 4 people. How many cars do you need if you're going to go on a field trip with 27 people, and every group of 4 people can get in one car?
That's a
Sorry, we're not using buses, we're using cars. How many cars do I need?
7. But what about
Why
the
7?
other 3 people? I know why 7.
Why 7?
Because, first of all, you said every group of 4. 6 is the completed groups of 4. But since there are still 3 people left in the groups, and in the 27, you need one more car to take those 3 people.
Can't I just get 3/4 of the car?
No, you can't, because a whole car is a whole car.
Oh.
You cannot take the car apart.
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay, so
On
common
the board,
sense.
you can.
This is what I want you guys to think of as you do problems. When does it make sense? In story problems, I could break a cookie into quarters, right? I can break cookies up and cut them, and I can give each a quarter of a cookie. So each of these 4 people could have 6 3/4 cookies. But if I'm asking cars, buses, containers, something, you can't really do a part of one. And we're not going to do 3/4 of a person. I'm not going to choose to chop off a quarter of you to do something. All right, so what you guys are going to do today is you're going to do these arrays. This is what I call an array, a rectangular array. You just put their things in a rectangle and you circle groups. One other thing you're going to do, and I'm going to show you really fast because I only got another minute or so, is an area model. Take a look, this is the last one. 240 divided by 5. Ugh. It's big.
Oh,
Who
no.
wants to draw 240 dots? Please say no.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay,
Never.
let me show you. As they get harder, drawing these arrays, it's not helpful. So I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to draw something up here, and while I do that, I want you guys to put your little circles back in the bags, and then we're going to come around and pick them up. So, no, sorry. Put your things back in the bags. I see some of you have made nice towers, so they're very easy to drop in your bags. Everybody pick them up real quick while I draw something. Multitasking. All right, Lizzie's got hers done. Who else has theirs done? You got one in your seat. Yep. All right. So everybody get them in your bags. Set your bags aside. We'll pick them up. Okay, I want everybody to write this problem on their paper. 240 divided by 5 and draw a rectangle under it. We're not drawing 240 dots. Dale, I need you to pick your things here. Some people are done. You haven't started.
I do what?
All right. Draw that rectangle. We're not drawing dots. Everybody write 240 divided by 5 and draw a
How can you do
rectangle.
the rectangle here?
However, long and skinny. Okay, real quick. We're going to do this. We're going to say that this entire rectangle, everybody look up on the screen. We're going to say that this entire rectangle represents 240 items.
So you write 240 in the middle?
Please. So write a big 240 in the middle.
You do?
I don't want to draw the dots. So, I know that there's going to be some dots across, and I don't know how many. That's what I want to figure out. But I know that I'm dividing it into groups of 5. So I'm going to write a 5 here. You guys know area, that length times width equals the total area. So if I'm telling you the total area of this rectangle is 240, then it's going to be 5 times something. And if I can figure out what this something is, I can use algebra. You can use division, you can use models. That will be the answer to this division because length times width will equal the area. And I'm saying my area is 240. I'm going to break it down into something easier. How do I make 100? 5 times what will give me 100? William? 5 times what gives me 100? 20. Okay, that's easy for me. So I'm going to do this now. Take a look. On here, I'm going to put in a little dotted line here.
You can do 40.
You could. It doesn't really matter, but I know that if it's 5 times 20, so if this much is 20, then I know that this rectangle here is worth 100. Okay, am I done yet? I need to go to 240. So let's do, could I do another 20? I'm picking numbers that I just know well. So what if I did another 20 I'm not drawing it very evenly, but let's say I made this another 20.
What was supposed to be 8?
So if this rectangle here is 5 by 20, it makes 100. How about this rectangle that's 5 by 20? How big is this one? 5 times 20. This one's also 100. How much have I covered of my 240 so far?
So 2.
I've covered 200. So what do I have left to do? How big's the empty one?
20.
I already have a 200 plus 100, that's 200, but I need 240.
So that one would be
40, good. So if this one's 40, if that one's 40, how long does this have to be? 8. 5 times 8? 40? Okay, so this is an area model. Now I didn't draw it very evenly because I didn't really know when I started if I did it right. But would you guys agree that 100 plus 100 plus 40 makes 240?
Yes.
Yes? And I did it in pieces that I knew I could do better in my brain rather than trying to do really big numbers. So how long is this side?
48.
48. Then I got my answer. That means if that whole thing, if that whole side is 48, if that whole side is 48, then that tells me that 5 times 48 is equal to 240, right? And the related fact family on that would be 240 divided by 5 equals 48. Yeah.
The 40 part.
Why is it 40? Jordan, why did you pick 40? Why did you tell me this was 40?
Because we have to get to 240,
Okay, I wanted to get to 240 total.
and we only had 200.
Okay, so I already did a chunk that covered 100, and then I did another chunk covering 100. Yeah.
I mean the second one.
This one? Oh, this 40 here, this 240, it's hard with the way I labeled it. This 240 is like the entire thing. That's just the number for the whole picture, is 240. Then this little area is 100, this little area is 100, and then this area is 40.
How did you get?
We could do it a different way. Let's say I did it this way. Bye-bye, all that hard work. Somebody give me another way to make this. The whole thing's 240. What do you want to do? What if I did 5 times 30? What's 5 times 30? 5 times 30 is 150. Am I to 240 yet? No, I'm trying to get the area up. So what do you want to do next?
Wait.
Oh, you had it.
Add another 30?
Oh,
That's going to get too big, isn't it? If I do another 30, I'd have 150 plus 150, I'd have 300. A 20? What if I do a 20?
Oh, it's too big.
Oh, that's too big. What should I do?
10.
A 10? Okay, so if I do a 10,
No.
how big is 5 times 10? How big is this? 50. How much do I have now? 200 now. Again, I got 200. And I need another 40. This has to be 40. So if that's 40, then what would this one up here have to be?
8.
8. How long is that top side? 30 plus 10. We got the same answer. And we drew it differently. How's that work?
Yeah, I tried going up.
This is called an area model, and it's letting you see how pieces of area, pieces of rectangles added together can give you the answer. Something you guys could try.